Well, give me the lines.
For the first time in 30 years, last season the Detroit Lions won their very first NFC North title. They haven't won a division title since the NFC Central, and none of us were alive for the NFC Central. So let's just put that into, a consideration there. But hey, a bunch of mouths to feed on this offense featuring a multiple 10-plus touchdown scorers in Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, who is featured right here, and one of the best tight ends last year, Sam Laporta. A defense that went from essentially the basement. They took a step last year. They're going to take a bigger step this year. This team, I think the ceiling is, honestly, I don't even know where their ceiling is. It's good. It's just infinite right now. And the Lions, I got to give credit here. Let's go back into this year. The Lions hosting the draft, give them the draft every year. That was phenomenal, I must say.
No, that was a good draft. I liked it.
They were great hosts.
Yeah, they were.
If they won the Super Bowl too, forget about it.
Oh, forget about it.
But let's shift into the offense here where they didn't make a lot of big moves. Yes, they signed Kevin Zeitler, who is a phenomenal guard at 33 years old. But can we just admire here? They signed Jared Goff to a big extension after the Rams said, you know what, we got to put him in the Stafford trade because we don't want him anymore. It was the Woody meme with Andy. I don't want to play with you anymore.
I mean, it worked for the Rams.
It works for both teams.
Rare trades that ever won a winner here.
Yeah. Hey, it's like the Stephon Diggs trade.
Well,
with the Bills.
only one team's a winner. They won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But the Lions also have their franchise quarterback. Jeez.
And
the Lions won their Super Bowl so far. So.
And with 12 receivers taken ahead of him, Amon-Ra St. Brown gets his big payday as he's now, you can argue if he's the best receiver from that 2021 draft. Definitely top 3. Can argue if he's number 1. And Penei Sewell, he gets a big extension. They signed these guys who came in year 1 where no one believed in Dan Campbell, gnawing kneecaps off the whole 10 yards. Your key pieces are here, and they're here to stay. Yeah. I don't have much else in this offense besides the offensive line's top 5. I think you can argue top 3. Their receiving core is lit. The running backs, I have nothing else to say. I really don't.
Oh no! Keeping really good. Is awesome.
We like the Lions here.
Yes, big Lion advocates.
We love Dan Campbell.
Yes,
I will bite a kneecap off for him.
I like that they really kept this running back duo together. I feel like you don't see running back duo.
You're only paying them like I don't know, $10 million total.
Freaking
between
awesome.
The both.
And that duo, I'm sure, is going to get better this year. Even I mean, Craig Reynolds wasn't even bad last year when he needed to be.
It's really a nice like thunder and lightning duo that makes it fun to watch. And like they just were, and that offensive line is so good. I always appreciate a good offensive line. Yeah. That's a good offensive line. That is the best offensive line in the division across the board at every position.
I mean, if you could get if Jameson Williams literally doubles his production, that's gigantic.
He goes from 10 catches to 20 catches.
We're not even talking about much, but half of them are probably going to be touchdowns. And then, I mean, the thing is on this team is every player plays, and well, I guess maybe except for Jameson Williams, but like every player otherwise plays and performs and does their job, does what they need to do. Dan Campbell is an incredible leader. Jared Goff is everything they need him to be. The running backs do everything. The entire depth steps up when they need to step up. I mean, this is what you can want in a team. This is everything you want in a team. So and they've kept it together pretty much almost exactly the same. So, I mean, it's beautiful. It's the Lions that we knew last year. It's going to be the same Lions this year.
I got nothing else on this offense besides like, hey, running back.
Running back. All right.
To go to the defense here, okay, they had the whole weird situation with Sutton, the cornerback, who kind of went MIA for like 2 weeks after. I really don't want to talk about the situation, but he kind of went AWOL there.
God.
But they lose him. They cut him. Emmanuel Mosley comes off of the ACL for the second consecutive year. One with the Niners against the Panthers, then he tears it again with the Lions. But you make a trade for Carlton Davis from the Buccaneers, a third-round pick. That's all it needed to get him from Tampa Bay to Detroit. Terrion Arnold, who, if you saw that post after he got drafted, that interview, man, he is Detroit. He is
what did we say?
that city.
at the draft, I'm like, that's a Dan Campbell corner made in the lab.
Yeah.
It's the most perfect pick they could have had.
All these additions, you haven't even gone through them all yet. I love every single one of these. Continue.
I don't even think there was that many additions, though. I think that's really it. Like, you get Marcus Davenport. I mean,
cool. DJ Reader, cool.
DJ Reader's the big one for me.
Yeah. I like all of them. They're all good. It makes this team better.
They upgraded at corner with Carlton Davis because, again, you mentioned Cam Sutton. He sucked anyway for them last year. So that's definitely a win for them. And if their rookie, Teron Arnold, can pan out the way he was, and Brian Branch was great all over the field last year for them, this defense is definitely up there for sure. They're probably second defense on this in this division. Could compete for the first if the additions work the way clearly they plan on it. So this is the pinnacle. This is the top of the division. Like, if anything does go bad, the worst is going to be second place in this division. If it goes terribly wrong, like if they
I'm going to say, Terry Arnold is a really sneaky defensive rookie of the year pick. Like, if he starts getting some picks and he can get some tackles in the backfield, that's a dude who will come up and tackle from the corner position.
Is there an easy pass rush favorite?
I mean, Dallas.
Predictions. Oh, wait a minute. Early predictions. From
Dallas Turner?
Draft picks. Dallas Turner, Quinyon Mitchell, Terry Arnold.
Latu.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's not like the previous years where it's
not
like
like the previous year.
A bunch of big names that, like, Terry Arnold could really be a sneaky pick to put some money on.
I tell you what, I think across the board, pretty much all the way across the board, this is number one in the division. Running backs group. I mean, wide receiver group.
What's the
quarterback?
real loss?
They're not the number one wide receiver group. Right? Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Hold on. Wait a minute. The Bears have the best wide receiver group in the division.
Let's see.
Question.
The Lions' biggest loss, I will tell you, okay?
From the defense.
They lost Charles Harris, Romeo Okorie, Benito Jones. I'm just labeling them all. Jerry Jacobs, Cam Sutton, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think that's probably the biggest one. Tracy Walker.
He didn't play last year, right?
He did play. He wasn't great for them.
I think he got hurt. And he
got hurt, came back, wasn't the same thing that he was on the Eagles, came back to the Eagles.
I mean,
let me see the schedule.
Let's go to the schedule here. And I got to ask the question here, what will make this season successful? And I think we all really know the same thing here.
Deep run it back easily.
Hoisting of a silver trophy.
At least get there.
They got to get back to the NFC Championship again.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That'll do it for me.
So
their schedule is pretty favorable, to be honest. Like, this is kind of crazy that this is first place schedule.
Well, okay. Well, because of the schedule, I was just saying, do you think they're a 13-win team? Yes. They could be a 13-win team.
Favorable schedule. They could definitely run it back.
The only thing I don't like about the schedule is the early bye.
Yeah.
The week 5 bye is just terrible.
Yeah, but you know what? Dan Campbell and a Dan Campbell team, I feel like, is someone who can handle it at least. You know, I feel like the guys get going and stuff. Like, it's not someone where it's like, I'm tired, I'm not going to play for this guy. This team plays for the guy every time.
What might be nice is, depending on how the Packers do, they might have the spot locked up to where they might not be too concerned about, like, seeding, but versus the division, like, they might not have to risk people for that Niners game, because the Niners, we all know, like, you come out of that game a little bruised.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is crazy because I'm not even going to count. I mean, this is just looking at it is kind of nuts. You're right, Colton. I don't know how this is a first place team scheduled.
And also, let's just put this into perspective. They only play like 3 games in open air. They play the Packers, they play the Packers, which is the first one in open air. Then the Bears and the 49ers. Those are the only games you're playing in a non-domed stadium. And the silver looking ones are home games. I cut that one off. I was trying to zoom in as much as I could on this.
No, you're good.
They don't play really anyone.
They're in a dome all year.
They're in a dome all year.
The Packers.
Chicago is an open air.
Chicago's going to be the cold one. The Packers may get cold, but Chicago will be cold, and that's like the only cold game on here, period.
Wow.
Wait.
That's kind of wild.
No. They play the Packers. Oh yeah, the Packers won't even be cold yet. It's November 3rd.
No, it'll be cold.
Yeah,
It'll
but
be
it
that
won't
cold.
be. Yeah, it
It'll be
won't be.
cold.
It'll be tolerable. The Bears one that might be rough for them after a whole year of like not dealing with it, but
Yeah, they have to win the division.
that's
This
crazy.
team has to win the division. After seeing the schedule, they have to win the division.
Anything less than the season's a failure.
Wow.
No, I mean you make the playoffs and you make the NFC Championship game either way. It's not really.
But
a
I
failure,
mean,
but yeah.
you're only paying, you know,
Like,
yeah.
They got to make the NFC Championship game, unless they have like a ginormous injury, like if Goff goes down or something. Like this team has to be NFC Championship game again.
1 billion %. 1 billion %.